Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to our show. We have gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the multiverse, two of the nerdiest geeks to be found. We proudly present the professor and her geeky girlness herself, Ace. And now it's time. GeekyKOOL presents Professor and Ace.
Hey everybody, welcome to Geeky. Wow, that thing's just not doing what I wanted it to there. But yes, welcome to GeekyKOOL Professor Ace, Season 2, Episode 17. We've had a bit of a hiatus for...
Okay, we had a lot. We had a lot of a hiatus.
Yeah, we did, and it's okay. You know what? It's all good because you've had really busy stuff going on and some exciting stuff we'll talk about. And then I've had family stuff and challenges and other things that have made it difficult. And
sickness and weather and all kinds of craziness has happened.
Well, let me say, not only are you Ace from our Doctor Who reference, also Ace reporter, now Ace editor. I should say Ace award-winning writer, editor, photographer. You are now the editor of 2 newspapers going on.
One newspaper.
One newspaper.
But I contribute to 2 other newspapers.
Oh wow! Okay.
And I just got done working on a feature story for a magazine as well. So, and I'm going to be taking a little bit of the lead on the magazine. I think I haven't been named editor, but I'm just trying to take a little bit of.
So you are working like 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. It sounds like.
Yes, I haven't other than the vacation. My husband and I had planned before I got the promotion for my birthday week in December. Other than that, I haven't actually had a full day off since October.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot going on there. So.
I take hours though. Don't think that I'm like always working. I take hours. I'll take like 4-hour allotments, and then I'll check my email, and then I'll write a story, and then I take.
Well, we are glad you're here, that you're back, and I know we're trying to get it to where we can do these more regularly when possible, and hopefully get back onto a schedule. Next week, for those that are watching now, next week we have a very exciting guest. Someone who is who has a history in the comic industry and that can give us some insights. Someone who has written a book about George Washington recently. And someone who runs her own company. And so we're going to talk to a really amazing person. So I'm just going to tease that there. And we will have to Hulk out on it later.
That was a good one. I was going to say that. I was I was like, no. She sounds amazing.
Yeah, she is.
Incredible.
She is. And I'm Missouri Comic-Con was this last weekend. I know you didn't get to go. And I know that Spoo was trying to get to go, and then life happened.
We had child issues. It's fine.
Yeah, and that happens. And yeah, so I completely understand because we both have kids about the same age that are exerting their wills and problematicness
those early teenage. Mine's not quite a teenager, my stepdaughter, but she acts like a teenager. She looks like a teenager, so she's already there. She's already there.
And girls start with that earlier.
So, oh yeah. She started with it when she was 10. It's just
it's fine. I get that.
It's not my first rodeo. It's
no,
my kids are grown. It's fine.
I saw it somewhere where somebody was saying the other day, it's like, so am I supposed to know everything by my second rodeo?
Oh no.
What rodeo do I actually know anything?
I feel like the thing about raising kids is like my son will be, oh my gosh, he'll be 30 this year.
That's crazy since you're only 35.
I know. It's like baby. But no, he'll be 30 this year in November. And raising him and helping to raise my niece back in the day, it was the 90s. And it was different than when I was being raised. Right. But the challenges now of raising a child, totally different. So yeah, I know how to combat the attitude.
Yeah.
It's the technology that's the hard part for me because,
definitely.
My son got his first cell phone a little earlier than I wanted, but his dad and I were split up. So he had a cell phone to go back and forth with. And he was like, I think 4th grade.
Right.
Right. So you're looking at 2000s.
Right.
Early 2000s.
So probably pre-internet on the phone.
No, yes. He had one of those little razor flip phone things.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, with like I had the one with the keyboard that slid down and he had like a little yeah. And he could text his friends and he could call his friends, but it wasn't social media, there wasn't TikTok, there wasn't like all of these things. And some of these things, some of this technology is just, it makes it more difficult. And so even though it's not my first rodeo raising children, the challenges I'm having with my stepdaughter are totally different than the challenges I had with my kids.
Well, and even, my son is 14 and my daughter's going to be 23 on Friday. Yes. No,
I'm sorry. You were 6 when you had her?
Yeah, no. You know better than that. I was like 80 when I had her.
I bet you felt like 80 after you had her.
Well, especially since she was super colicky. I mean, like, people hear colic and they think it's just little, your baby kind of cries a little bit. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right. Now, this was blood curdling. I wrote an article for our church, had a little newspaper thing or a magazine thing we did. And I wrote an article and I referred to her as my banshee.
Right.
She really was. I mean, it was screaming at the top of her lungs every moment she was awake until she was about 4 months. And then it still happened about half the time until she was 6 months.
Right. Yeah.
And it was stomach wasn't quite developed right. And some other didn't like the milk and didn't like life.
I know. It's like the formulas and the milk. And then you have to like, what works, and you have to find out what works for your kid. Right. And I mean, I have like cousins-in-law who are new grandparents, and their children are having children now and everything. And one of the girls put on there like, what do you feed the colicky baby? How do you deal with a colicky baby? And I was like, earplugs help. Because it's not something that they're not hungry. They don't need change. They don't need swaddling. They don't need anything. They're just in pain.
Right. Right.
So
well, and sometimes because they're in pain, they won't eat like they're supposed to. Like our daughter lost weight her first 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And to the point to where the doctors were concerned we had an upper GI at 4 weeks sort of thing. Because she wasn't keeping food down. So yeah, it was miserable, but even saying that, but raising her was way different. And of course, she's a girl, but there's a lot to worry about, especially since she was a cheerleader. I'm like, oh, you're gonna kill me, but I don't know.
And you're a protective dad as well, so that doesn't help your anxiety with it.
No, exactly. That's okay. But it still didn't have the challenges that today has. And she had a phone, but it didn't really have internet until like her senior year.
Right.
And then, and by then she was very motivated for homework and motivated for everything else. And
yeah, because she had a life plan at that point.
She did until beginning of the second semester of senior year, and then the senior itis hit. Like, I'll just coast.
Yeah.
So, typical. Right, typical. Exactly. It wasn't atypical at all, but it's just challenging. It's just a different challenge. So, life goes on, but those are challenges we're all facing.
Yeah, but it is totally different. Like, I mean,
oh yeah.
Like, can you imagine if I don't even know. My mind cannot even grasp the concept of being born in a generation where you have, smartphones and you don't have to look something up in an encyclopedia.
Right.
For anyone who's watching who doesn't know what an encyclopedia is, there used to be these giant books with A through Z on them. And inside the book, they talked about everything. It was like Wikipedia, but factual.
And
they were like,
it was often generic depending on what you're looking up. And okay, so I'm going to say something. It's not to offend anybody intentionally. And if I offend you, I apologize now.
Oh, this is fun.
But growing up on the lower side of the economy, we had 2 encyclopedia books. We didn't have the whole set. We had like A and B.
Yeah, because what happened, and this is what happened with my family too. What happened was my mom collected like green stamps at IGA.
Yeah.
And she would turn the green stamps in for things. And she would start with like this intention of like, I'm going to turn and save enough green stamps to buy this encyclopedia set. But you turn a book in and you'd get 1 book.
Right.
And I think we got up to like D. And then they discontinued that giveaway and they made something else. And every couple of years they would bring back the encyclopedias. So, I mean, it took, and by that point, they're not the complete set.
Right.
So yeah, we had like A through D, and then I think she missed a couple like times that they had it, and then I remember we had J. So what was funny is when your teacher at school would be like, okay, well, you guys are going to do a research paper. This is like elementary school and junior high. So it's not like high school level research paper, but I want you to look something up in the encyclopedia, and it limited your things to
Right. It did, because you really had to pay attention. Well, so my grandparents had a set of encyclopedias like over there, but they were like 1955.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Encyclopedias update every year.
Right. So you could check them out at school, but the encyclopedias you couldn't take home. You had to return to the library
at the end of the day.
And then if you were going to type the paper, you would either go to a typewriter in the typing room for the business class, or you had to schedule a time to use a computer because you sure didn't have one at home.
Oh, we didn't have computers available to us until high school. In my school, we had a computer room, but you had to be in computer classes to use the computer room, not just any student. But we had an old typewriter sitting out at the librarian station, and she would let you like. I was trying to explain this to my stepdaughter and also one of my grandchildren, is the fact that we couldn't just look things up and then like copy and paste things over. Like if you wanted to copy something, you had to look at it, type it, look at it. And I was never a good typist. I'm still not. It's so funny because I make a living writing.
Right.
But I'm still like, I'm not one of those like fast typists. So it would be like type, look, oh, I made a mistake. Here's the whiteout.
Right. And you had to get the whiteout right, and then you had to roll it back just right. But you had to let the whiteout dry enough so you could type over it. And then if you got the page just slightly off, then your letters would be higher or lower.
And then if you didn't wait for the whiteout, then like the next time you used that letter, it didn't like show up.
Right,
so you had to like pull the key back.
Because there was a thin ribbon. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. The ribbon and then the ribbons would run out of ink, so it would have like ink on it, and then the little thing would come up and hit it, and then oh yeah.
It's the best thing. I actually have my old typewriter from my senior year of high school.
There you go.
I saved money. I worked my tail end off. And there was no way I was going to afford a computer just because we were so poor. But I did get a typewriter, and I still have it, but you can't buy the parts for it now.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's just like, but it's not one of those really cool typewriters, like the old typewriters. No, it's an electronic typewriter.
Right, yes.
And
which was good technology at the time.
Oh, it was.
Because the old ones, I mean, you'd really have to type slow, and you have to press hard, so you would have your fingers on the right keys.
The sound of a typewriter going, though, I love that sound. I love that sound so much. I do. But no, so technology has changed so much, and we're raising these kids in this age that we don't quite understand. I have no idea what it's like to have a cell phone when I'm 3 or 4 years old.
Right.
Have an iPad to watch videos. I don't know what that's like. Like, if I wanted to watch a TV show, I had to go turn an antenna. I had to run in the house, hope nobody else picked one of the 2 channels that we got.
Right.
And we had to fight over it. There was no remote. You had to go up and turn it.
We were the remote, AJ.
We were the remote. And the thing is I look back at that and I think it taught me so much, and I'm really actually a little concerned with what are they calling themselves? Alpha generation?
Yeah.
The alpha generation. Millennials, the older millennials were like my son. They got computers and cell phones in their teen years, but they didn't have them growing up.
Right.
And then, Gen Z, some of them also have that quality because things were still kind of expensive. And now, hey, look, my husband's home. And now it's I literally will go to an event and see a child who's 3 years old with their own iPad.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I had to go. I had to fight for the TV, and we only got to watch our shows on Saturday morning.
Right. Well, and they talk about being bored and having to come up with creative things, and you're like, you don't understand bored at all.
You don't.
A trip in the car 2 hours away. Kids today would have no concept of how to handle that, and not be like, back in my day sort of thing. It's just a different place.
We literally, not every time, but Lex's mom lives an hour and a half away. An hour and 20 minutes, something like that. So when we take her home or we pick her up, there are times that we're no phones. We'll listen to podcasts, or we'll play games. We play a story game where you each of you start a sentence.
Right.
Stuff like that. Just for that reason, just so that she understands that her phone is not boring. There are other things that are boring. Your parents. Your parents are boring.
Well, to take the whole technology thing a different way, I realize this with my son, and one of his challenges is he is attention deficit disorder, just like his father. So I had that, still do, and I've learned how to deal with it. But I've got those challenges. But I cannot imagine the challenges of trying to do my schoolwork with the internet at my fingertips all the time.
Right.
And he's had those challenges. In fact, we've basically cut all that off to make that happen, because it wasn't happening. So we were doing everything we could, not to be mean, just trying to get it to where he could get in that process of doing his homework the way he's supposed to, rather than being distracted and consumed with the internet.
And just, people who don't have ADHD or ADD, they struggle with it. Even adults I know, I have worked with in the past and stuff, have struggled with it. You know how many times, when I was in retail and I was a manager, I would have to tell my coworkers to get off their phones.
Right.
Get off your phones. And they would be scrolling through, it's a thing. I had a coworker not long ago say they spent like 4 hours one night scrolling through TikTok.
Yeah.
And then they came in and they were tired. And I'm like, why are you tired? And they were like, well, I was scrolling through TikTok for 4 hours. And I was like, dude. So even people who don't have
right
the attention deficit, I kind of actually feel like social media and the technology we have now is causing attention deficit.
Well, I can definitely agree with that. Yes.
People who don't have that part of their brain not like functioning in the way that causes it, but just because it's like, oh, a TikTok video, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever. Like the attention span of humans is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
So, and we don't do politics on this station. We don't talk politics. You believe what you want. We'll love you no matter who you vote for, all that stuff. But did you see the TikTok video that President Biden put out?
I'm going to say something, and this is going to be very controversial. Okay,
you can say it.
I don't have TikTok.
I don't either.
I don't have TikTok. I have Snapchat just because sometimes a girl wants a filter. I'm just throwing that out there.
Sure. Most definitely.
This is me without anything. This is fine. But sometimes when I'm all dolled up, I want a filter. I don't go on Snapchat except for that. I'm not on X, formerly known as Twitter. I have an X account from back when I had my business going really and I was really focused on that. Facebook
KOOL does have an X account, just so people know. If you want to, you can follow us there too.
I have Facebook, but 90% of the time I spend on Facebook is I manage the newspaper's Facebook page. I also help with the other 2 newspapers I write for, their Facebook page. We talked about my job a little bit. I just want to, why I'm so busy is for the newspaper I write for, I don't have a staff.
You are the staff.
I have a part-time writer now who writes for my paper and then the Branson paper. And then I have a part-time person who does reception stuff for me on Monday and Tuesday to answer phones so that I can get the paper put to bed so I can send it to the printer.
Right.
But other than that, everything is pretty much me. So that being said, I'm on the social media account for the paper that I write for, and then I'm the editor for, and then I'm on the other 2 papers as well, just in case there's something going on, or like school closings. Yesterday we had like that freakish snowstorm that now is all gone. And so I'll post like school closings for both papers or all 3. Sometimes it just depends and that sort of thing. But that, and I do post personal stuff on my Facebook page. However, it's not as often as it used to be. And most of the time it's in between and I see something cute and I'm like, here's a cute photo of an otter. Look, they're holding hands.
It's nice to have some of that stuff. Yeah.
So I don't see these TikToks, and I don't people will send them to me and I can't even open them on my phone because I don't have TikTok. Like I can open them on Facebook on the Reels kind of thing, but I can't open them on my phone because I don't have TikTok. It's not even installed.
Right. It's not on mine either. So I only saw it because I was curious. John Daly's back on the the whatever what is that show? Crud. The Today Show.
The Daily Show?
It is the Daily Show. Right. So he's back on there. Yeah, weird, huh? He's back on there. So I wanted to tune in just kind of see what he would say. And so he actually showed the TikTok. And so President Biden is trying to show that he's not as old as some people are saying. And by the way, when there's a third party running and they're 70 and they are almost 10 years younger than the 2 main people running.
I know, right? Somebody said something to me the other day. Somebody said something to me the other day about Biden being old and Trump being young.
No, they're both old.
They're both old. They're like really, I don't even know for sure.
They're like a year apart.
But they're like,
yeah. If and again, we're not going to talk politics other than to say both of these candidates are old.
They're old. They're
right. So President Biden is trying to relate to the young people and trying to show that he's still capable. And again, neither here nor there, other than it was a funny TikTok thing where they were asking him stuff about the Super Bowl. So it was on Sunday.
Right.
They started this account for the president, and his media people were trying to do this. And so they asked him about, are you watching for the game or are you watching for the commercials? And he said game. And he's like, do you prefer, which Kelsey do you prefer? Do you prefer the one for Philadelphia, or do you prefer Travis Kelsey? And he goes, neither. I prefer Mama Kelsey because she makes chocolate chip cookies. And it leaves it right there. And of course, Jon Stewart just is like,
oh my God, I want to see this video.
Yeah, most definitely. So you're like, and he's like, are you insane?
You know what, though? I feel like that. I don't know if he's insane or not, or if that was done on. I feel like he had a writer. You know what I mean?
Almost definitely, but it was. Jon Stewart's like, look at me, look at all this gray hair, look at what I looked like 20 years ago. These guys are 20 years older than me.
I know, and being president ages you so much.
Oh, it does.
Like you see pictures. I want everyone, if you guys don't believe me, go look at pictures, and I don't care what party it is. Go look at pictures of them before they became president, when they're getting, sworn in kind of days, and then when they leave the office.
Right. Yeah, if you, I know President Clinton aged it was like he aged 20 years in the 8 years he was in. George W. Bush aged horribly.
Obama,
he was like this young juvenile guy.
Oh yeah,
he's almost too young, and you're like, oh yeah, that aged them hard.
It ages them hard.
Well, because there's a lot of responsibility there. They have the weight of the world literally on their shoulders, making these decisions. It's a lot to do, and again, neither party doesn't matter here. It just ages you. But
it's just, I don't care if it's like you go in and you see George Bush or George W. Bush. I don't care if it's Obama, Clinton. I would say Trump is probably the least changed, but he looks old. The same. He looks the same as he's looked for like 20 years.
What's all the preservatives and
I don't know what he looks like without makeup.
Right. So it was funny, and again, Jon Stewart, and he was in at least this episode of The Daily Show. People will like him or hate him or whatever, but he was an equal opportunity offender with this, and so I do appreciate that because I like the humorous, sarcastic take on stuff, and I like it when you can offend both sides. All right, great.
That's a true statement.
Yeah,
I think comedians, unfortunately, in this day and age, the comedians that I love, who are no longer with us,
right,
would never have become as big as they were.
Nope.
Because people get offended.
Oh, right,
George Carlin would have been so.
Well, George Carlin warned us about this.
He did. He totally did. And the things that the man, but my take on it, and this is probably not a popular take on it, is that comedians and funny comics, political comics, that sort of thing. I'm not talking comic books. I'm talking about like the newspaper political comics.
Right.
They have, and they always have been, like free game for if you're in the political arena or in the famous arena. If you're a famous person, a celebrity, then you're free game to make
Yes.
fun of. You don't make fun of just the average person, but you can make fun of an organization,
Right.
or you can make fun of, like those kind of things. And entertainment, movies, and comics and stuff have always been driven by political undertones,
Right. Oh, yeah.
and social commentary. And comedy is the extreme to that. So, like,
Most
I think
definitely.
that was funny. I laughed my butt off. You guys just saw me. That was hilarious to me. And I am not going to talk about whether I vote Democrat, Republican, Independent. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But it's funny. And if it's funny, it's funny.
Right.
There are things that I personally don't find funny, and that's okay.
Yep.
But I'm not going to try to like cancel someone unless that person is a predator of some sort.
Right.
I'll cancel a predator all day long.
Well, that's right. I'm with you there.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, there's some celebrities who have been canceled in the last like 10 years who definitely needed to be canceled.
And sometimes the hard thing is because some of what they said in their comedy acts and other things resonate so true that you want to be able to use those lines, but then you don't feel like you can because you can't disassociate their bad behavior and their comedy.
Right.
And that's a really hard place to be because you're like, oh, this is the funniest thing to say. This line works perfectly here. Oh, I can't really say that. Well, Jessica says hi. Hi, Jessica. Hi, thanks for watching. We're glad you're here with us. So
we're just chit-chatting. We didn't even have a topic today. It's fine.
Yeah, we just wanted to get together and chill. So
yeah.
Now the funny thing that one of the other things Jon Stewart said, and this is true, he's nailing it. He goes, they've now set a record for the two oldest people to ever run for president. This broke the record from 4 years ago when they were the two oldest people ever running for president.
I was going to say they were last time, weren't they?
Right. He goes, that sets the record that they broke of when they ran last time. So
I don't think people understand. It's so weird because I'm going to say this, like, I saw something the other day about I can't remember who the celebrity now was, but they were comparing this person with Anne Frank.
Huh?
They were born in the same year. They're the same age. They would have been the same age if Anne would have survived.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people grasp age. We put people into a certain like time period.
Right.
And, when you think Anne Frank, you're like, oh, that's years and years ago. But you don't realize that the people who would have, if she would have lived her age, we know who they are. Like, they're still alive, some of them. And I think that happens with Biden and Trump. Like, Biden didn't really become, like, a key player. Like, he was, political for a while.
Right.
But it wasn't until he became a nationally known person when he started running for president that, and that whole vice president thing and, that sort of thing. And he was already old.
Right.
And Trump, we've known who he is, since like the 70s and 80s. So in our mind, we have him as younger. I think that's what happens. I think that we compartmentalize and we put people into these things. Like, we're like, oh no, Biden's old. I've had some people tell me like Biden's way older than Trump, and I'm like, they're really close to the same age.
Yeah, it's like a year apart. So yeah. It's just
so weird. It's so weird.
I know, I agree, because I'm like, okay.
And I think it's hilarious now, and this is what I think is hilarious, is that Biden is just now getting onto this like social media thing.
Right.
Because all I can think about is, and I'm not technologically like stupid, okay? But my grandkids know so much more about technology than I do. Like, they can figure things out, right? And I personally think to myself, like, how bad is it? Like, what, does he have a whole team? He probably does. But does he have this whole team who, like, okay, now push the button?
Well, I'm sure they're pushing it for him even at that point. So.
Because I know Trump does. I know Trump has.
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah,
always
right.
had a team. He's always had, like, those teams.
Right.
But I don't know if, I think Trump is, like, technologically more knowledgeable because, you know,
because
he's been a celebrity for such a long time.
Right, and he has to tweet everything, so yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's like, oh, it's a thing. And why, can I ask, like, do you know, because I haven't looked it up. I could probably look it up. Why did Twitter become X?
Because it was bought, and then the name was changed.
I knew it was bought, but I'm just thinking X? Like,
I don't have any idea why you call it X, unless you're trying to get Gen Xers, you're hoping that's going to do it.
I don't know.
Most of us are just like, whatever.
It's still Twitter. Most people still say Twitter.
Right. Just roll my eyes. Whatever. There, right. I just call it Twitter.
I mean, Facebook became Meta.
And nobody calls it Meta.
Nobody calls it Meta.
No,
Everybody calls it Facebook. It's fine. It's fine.
So getting off the subject of this for just a moment, our friend Jessica had something she wanted to share with us, and we'll share it with everybody else.
Yeah.
Hero for Kids Comic-Con is coming July 20th and 21st.
I love what they do. Lonnie and Jessica are amazing. And they do Heroes for Kids, which I met them. It's been, I think it was at MaxCon, which I did MaxCon 2 years, like a long time. I don't even remember what year it was. 2014, 15, I think. And they're just amazing. So Heroes for Kids is their charity. They have cosplayers and actors who dress up, and they go and make wishes come true for kids who want, like, a Make-A-Wish situation, but they also, like, go to hospitals and, you know, just bring joy. And they've been doing their Heroes for Kids Comic-Con for a while now, a few years, and I've never got to go because I'm always booked. Like, I plan on going, and then, like, a newspaper thing happens.
Right.
But you guys need to check it out. It's getting bigger and bigger every year from what I've been told by our contributor, my friend Morgan, who goes every time because she's part of the Heroes for Kids, like, family. But yeah, no, that is amazing. We'll have to have you on here, you and Lonnie and the Heroes for Kids group. Come on here and we'll talk about it soon.
We'd love to have you on. Love to have you on in cosplay. That would be even more fun.
So. That would be so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Lonnie is a real life hero.
He is.
Who dresses as Superman.
And he's a really good looking Superman, too.
Very, very good.
Wow. That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that. And we're excited to see the growth that you guys are having and continue to grow there, Jessica.
It's just a good cause. They help kids. They, they know so many people. They have so many contacts that are just about making joyful moments for children. So,
children in a hospital need all the joy that we can give them. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I just think it's great. If you guys didn't, Larry, let's see, I don't know if I can pull up comments. We'll do this one again. The one with their website. So
yep, we'll throw that one up there. Yep.
Heroes for Kids Comic-Con.org. Go check it out. See where they're at with the planning. See if you're buying tickets and all that stuff, because it's for such an amazing cause.
It is. And we'll do our best to try to get there. We would love that so much, Jessica.
I might be able to do it this year. I'm trying to think. I think, I might have to work from there. That's the one good thing about my job is 90% of it can be done remotely if I have to. So, yay.
See, there you go.
That would be good.
Thank you, Jessica, for jumping on and sharing that with us, because we love you guys. We're so happy to promote you any way we can, and we want you guys to come on and talk about it. So,
she got something else.
Sponsorships. All available online. So let's check it out. All of it's available now. So
they're still looking for vendors, and I know a lot of my friends are vendors who go to cons. So that sounds like a good opportunity to go there, sell some stuff, have some fun, and also help raise money.
Right. So you're welcome. We're just glad to help you guys any way we can.
We love that.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons we do this is we like to help other people that are somewhat local. We like to have people on, talk about what they're doing, because that's part of GeekyKOOL's whole mindset of what we want to do is help promote other people. And,
right. Keith says it all the time when he comes on here. Mr. Keith from Pop Culture Mind Build. He comes on here and he's like, after the show, we always we end the show, and then sometimes it's like, if Keith's on, it's 2 hours later, we actually leave, go backstage, and
the after show, right?
You don't see the conversations that we have after. But Keith has said so many times, he's like, that's what he loves about us, is that we've helped so many people do and we just support, and we never expect anything from it. And that is a true statement. And I'm not trying to be braggy, but Larry created GeekyKOOL for that reason. He created GeekyKOOL to just give a voice to, the nerds and the geeks and all of us creative people in the area, and then around the country, because he wanted to expand it, which we have, Ashley and John on the East Coast, and we have other contributors all over. But the whole point of it was to just be supportive of each other.
Right.
And I'm glad that other people see that, especially for you, Larry, because I know that was you wanted a safe place for your kids to check out geeky stuff, but your second goal was just creating a good community of people. So
it was all about bringing people together, getting different voices, and expressing things. Because I have my geekdoms, and I'm wearing my D&D shirt right now. I've got my geekdoms going on. You've got friends going.
No, it's not friends.
Oh, it's not what I can't. What is it?
It's horror.
Ah, well, not a shock there.
Look behind. This is not mine. This is my husband's.
I'm holding these for a friend.
Mine's in the living room or at my office. Both my offices, because I have an office in Branson or Hollister, and I have an office in Crane. So I have split my collection there. But this is just his.
I know.
And there's another
it's extensive,
shelf.
Right?
There's another shelf you can't see.
It's extensive. It takes up the whole room there.
It does. I don't even know. He's always buying. Somebody asked me, what was it? I can't remember what it was. Oh, I said something and I was just joking. I was just like, oh my gosh, shoot me. You know that when you're just frustrated and you're like, ah.
Right.
And they were like, no. And I was like, it's fine. I have life insurance. I was just joking. And one of my coworkers goes, yeah, but Spill would spend the money on toys. I was like,
you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You can't even see, it goes up.
Yeah, it does. It's a huge amount.
Floor to ceiling.
So
if you guys want to check these out, he does post on his Instagram and Facebook and everything like that, he does post a collectible of the day. So he's taken pictures of every single one of these in like 6 different poses. This is what he does with his spare time. I'm a little jealous of the toys, not even gonna lie. True statement. But he takes pictures of them and he poses them. We've sold prints of it, but he does post them. So yeah. Oh, Ashley commented.
Hey, Ashley.
You just downsized your stuff? I can't even imagine my husband's doing that. Like I stopped buying stuff for myself, and then he's been like wanting to buy stuff for me, and I'm like, no, we'll just hold off. It has to be a very special piece for me to buy it anymore, just because this isn't even all of it. He has stuff in my living room too.
He's taking over the living room now? That was your sacred area.
So above my TV, the big screen TV, we have a black shelf. And like, aw, that's sweet. Well, at least they went to good homes.
They did. That is good.
But I have this black shelf that's like, I think it's 6 foot long. That's above the TV, and it used to have like stuff of mine, and now it just has every figure ever made from the Silent Bob series of movies. He has every figure ever made from that universe, and they're up there. And when I say every figure, he has duplicates because some of them are in color and some of them are black and white. Yeah.
Well, actually, we need to have you on to come talk about your book, because that looks really cool. And I know we've promoted it a bit, but we want to promote it more for you. So
yes, come on and talk. I haven't received my copy yet, so I'm gonna just have to buy it because you wanted somebody to read it. She wanted somebody to read it and review it, and I just haven't received it. So I'm just gonna buy it and then I'll review it anyway. I mean, it might take me a while to read because, I haven't read a book in forever. Oh, she says it could be on my email. Okay, I'll look on my email. That might also take a while.
And I'm a slow reader, so that whole dyslexia thing and ADD thing and everything else.
So just so you know, Ashley, I'm not ignoring the email then. I literally have 7 emails attached to my phone, and I don't know if you can read that. It says 7,647 emails unread.
Well, you have to do a search for Ashley then.
I know. But and that's for the last week. I just go through and mark things read. Like, there's a couple, like my junk email. Does everybody have a junk email?
Yeah.
You know the email that I find that it's the first email you set up. And it's like the oldest email you have. And now you just subscribe to all these things when you first started the internet. By the way, that was a thing. And now you just have all these subscriptions like to weird websites and stuff like that. And instead of just hitting unsubscribe, which is really easy to do, you just go, mark, read.
Some of those places, though, if you unsubscribe to one, they'll subscribe you to like 3 more different ones.
Oh, I know. I know. Have you ever been...
Nope.
Thanks, Ashley. I need all the help I can get. Have you ever, I'm going to ask a question and you guys who are watching, you can answer this if you would like. I had an experience with email that I've never had before. And that was a few weeks ago, one of my emails, literally it's a work email, in the span of a day, I had about 42,000 spam emails.
Wow.
So much so that I was going and deleting them all so I could get to my actual work. and I would have to like click all, like, for 50 at a time and move them over. But by the time I came back, I had 100. I did not know that this is something, but I looked it up, and apparently, if somebody's mad at you, there's like websites you can go to and put in somebody's email, and they like send it off to all these things.
Oh my gosh. I've had a whole bunch, but I've not had that many. That's a crazy amount.
So much so I had to call our IT guy, and I'm like, can I get this to stop? And he's like, just mark them all as junk, and then they'll stop. And I'm like, they stop for that person. Like, then all of them go to junk, right? Which is fine. And I did not know this, but if you get enough junk emails, your box just automatically like deletes them after so long.
Right,
so much.
Right.
I went through 7 deletions in 4 days.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that was something. Yes. I had weird foreign ones. I had ones that were like, thank you for your inquiry on a trip to London. I'm like, what? Okay. Or a ticket has been like issued for your complaint.
Oh, yeah. I've got
And
those.
it's like, okay. I mean, I got thousands of those, and they're from all different companies. I was like, that's crazy.
All
and
these
that's
fake companies.
Right.
They look like real companies, but they're fake.
They're not. I didn't click anything. I'm smart enough not to click anything.
Right,
However, I didn't realize, because I looked it up, because I was like, what is going on? And I don't know if this is what happened, but I didn't realize that you literally can sign, like, there's websites that are sending spam, like you can sign people up to get a whole bunch of spam. And I'm just like,
did you upset?
Oh, I'm a reporter. I upset a lot of people.
True.
It's a thing. I tell the truth.
It is.
I tell the truth
in a particular way.
Nope. No, straight down the line.
Right. Which is what it should be.
Right.
That's what it was always meant to be. That's what it should be. So I appreciate that.
I literally just like, I'm one of those meeting people. I have conversations. People will call me up all the time, and they'll be like, why did you write that? And how dare you write that? And it's, okay, what part of it are you upset about? And they're like, well, this and this and this. And it's direct quotes from somebody else. So you're upset with that person's opinion, but the story is about that person. Right. So I have to kind of put their opinion in. That's why it's a direct quote, and I don't actually put it in as something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like quoting a politician who says something stupid. Like Mama Kelsey, because she bakes cookies. I can bring it around. It's a fun thing.
It's funny.
Oh, Ashley says most of hers were in French and Russian. I mean, mine were almost all American, and I say American because a lot of them tell you where it's from. Like because we have to go through my server, they have to go through my thing, so it tells you like a state that it's from, and most of them were United States. There were a couple but I know they probably weren't, but there were a couple from, what was it? Uruguay. And I was like, oh my gosh, is that even, why is that sending things to me? Why are people from there sending things to me? But I don't know. It's just weird.
So I just want that prince to hurry up and give me that money.
I know, right? I just need to win Powerball.
Shrew and I
were like, we just need to win Powerball. It's fine. We plan. What would Shrew would not have control of the money?
That's probably very wise.
This would happen in a multi-million-dollar way.
It's true.
He would have an allowance. It's fine. I would have an allowance too. Don't think I'm being mean to my husband. We would both have an allowance, and then the house would have its own thing.
No, I can see it now. Oh, Cabana Boy, you want your allowance, Cabana Boy? Come here.
I would
I need you to put on some. I need the sunscreen on now, Cabana Boy. Put it on for me.
I would be divorced so fast. It's like not even funny. And yet I'm laughing. It's okay.
Well,
it's a thing.
We could video it. It would be perfect. That would be a perfect video to put up.
Oh my gosh. We've been talking. He wants to do TikTok. He wants to do TikTok videos. And I
tell him to go for Mama Kelsey.
Oh my gosh. We have ideas for it, but like we don't have time. You saw him come in. He's been at work since 7:30 this morning. Just got home. We used to work in the same office. We do one day a week now, but I work over, like, I drive an hour and a half to work every day.
That's a lot of driving.
Yeah, it is. It's a struggle, but it's fun. I like my office over there.
Good.
It's a cute little, like, the building's like 100 years old.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cute. So there's that.
There is that.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Larry, I've missed this.
Well, I have too. So I really wanted us to get together to do this because we needed to have a good, de-stressful, relaxing just session to chat and let people watch and communicate with us. And
somebody wants to say hi. She's like, hi. Look, Artemis. Yeah. Yeah. Go in the living room. Go on. Go on. You're not allowed back here. You know that. Go.
But mommy's in here, so
I know. She ate. I fed her before she's eaten and everything. She just likes to be all up in my business all the time. I do take her with me to work. That's the cool thing.
That is cool. That's
I get to take her to work with me if I want to. She doesn't always go. Sometimes she's a brat and I don't want to deal with it. But it's like a child. I get to take her with me. Sometimes she's a brat and I don't want to do that.
Completely understand.
Well, next week, I'm super excited about our guest next week. I think
Me too.
Really cool. And yeah.
Yeah, we will be announcing that, so pay attention. We'll get that posted up. Once I've got everything verified, I need to verify that she's going to be able to make it next week. We talked preliminarily, and yeah, it sounds very positive. But we have an exciting, really cool guest, so I'm super pumped about it because I got to talk to her a little bit at a convention, and she's pretty awesome. So I'm like, this is going to be fun. So
I'm super excited. I'm like, yes, please. Like that's just, yeah.
A woman as an editor for a comic book in the 80s. How rare is that, right?
One female editor to another.
Exactly. I'll just sit back and let you ladies talk, and I'll just be enjoying it. So,
different realm, though. Different realm.
It is, but still.
Hers way more fun. Probably just as stressful, but way more fun.
I'm positive of that because of comic code, especially in the 80s, that you had to walk a certain line, and the book that she was on often pushed that line.
No, it didn't push the line. It just stepped right over it, kept going, looked back once in a while, was like, oh.
Look, aren't you going to move the line over to here? Because we're here now.
Is that something I needed? Do we need that line?
Anyway, so we will definitely be announcing that, so pay attention and join us next week. We'd love to have a lot of questions from our audience to be able to talk and show her, kind of the love, but we'll be announcing that, so yeah.
Yay! And don't forget, Friday, you guys are doing that Friday, right? Are you doing the next gen?
Yes, we are. Next Gen Role Players this Friday. We'll have have our group of amazing young adventurers be able to come on and have another go at this cave.
How's that going? Like wrangling them all up?
That's always a challenge, but that's a challenge. I've got a group of 30 to 50-year-old men that I have the same challenge with. I mean, so it's.
I mean, they're kind of adolescents too, right?
You're exactly right. Yeah, we're just doing this one live for everybody to watch. So, but no, it's fun. It's definitely some interesting takes on things. And you have to like, no, you guys can't fight each other.
Oh, I know. Like that first.
I know. And I let them do that, and then I'm like, now you're going to be attacked by something else. Oh, now you're down on hit points. I wonder how that happened.
Listen, they have to learn consequences.
Right. Well, that was my whole point with it. But since then, I'm like, no, this is a group collaborative effort. You have to play together.
Listen, I know you have two very strong personalities that like to go at each other.
Yes.
I apologize for my child.
Oh, it makes it fun. So it's entertaining. I'm entertained as the dungeon master watching them sometimes. Like, okay, let's put it out there and see what you guys do. Okay, right. That's interesting.
They're really enjoying it, though. I think they're really enjoying it.
Good. I'm glad I'm enjoying them being there and us doing that because and have some fun things planned for them. But again, anytime you dungeon master, you make plans very tentatively. Here's kind of where we're going, especially I'm going to set this up, and that's completely ignored. Okay, we're doing something else now.
Yeah, I feel like with them, if you guys haven't watched it, it's hilarious because these are so. Lex had only played D&D like 2 times, and it's with Larry at cons, and she was like, just like learning. And then Eli, he's played a few times more than that. The other two, and I can't remember their name. We don't say their real names. They only go by their character names. Can't remember their character names right at the moment. But they had never played. They actually didn't know anything about D&D. And we met them. They're friends of Lex's. And we met them, and I was talking to their mom about it. And they were like, this sounds like fun. And so it's kind of unique watching them play this game they don't know how to play. And really getting into their characters a little too much.
At times.
I just remember the one where he killed the lady in the road, and then he's like, "Can I take her head?" And he just like walked around with her head.
In just a bag.
In just a bag.
Bleeding in the bag. Yeah. Goblin's heads went in there.
He just wanted to collect bodies.
That still is. I mean, that's still part of it. All right.
Oh, I was like...
The group took his bag, went and burned the heads, and then now he's doing it some more. And I gave the group a bag of holding, but they didn't want to use it for his head. So.
As they shouldn't. They really shouldn't. I was like, oh, that would be terrible. You would smell that guy coming so much better. Like, right. I hope you wrote that into something or write that into something. Like, some animal or beast is going to smell that dead, rotting.
Right, after him, right? Exactly. No, that's definitely on its way. So here's what I'm imagining. So if they had used the bag of holding, you could do, "Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat." Don't know my own strength.
Oh no, that's the lady from the bar. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. Nope, that's not it. Goblin head. Okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. These kids are so much fun, and I I think so many more people would be entertained by them.
Oh, yeah.
So please, if you guys haven't yet, check out our podcast, our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, because we do it Facebook Live like we do this, but it gets put onto the other things, and you guys can listen or watch these kids play D&D for the first time in their first real campaign. And they are between the ages of, I think, 10 and 14.
Yeah. That's it.
There's 4 of them. 2 girls and 2 boys.
Well, then when they came to the cliffside where the goblins had gone, and there's these bushes in front. I'm going to climb up the top of the cliff. Okay. Do you look back? No, not at all. Okay. Next person. Do you look back? No. Next person. Oh, I'm going to look back. Well, you see a cave as you're peering down. Okay, I'm going to keep climbing. Okay.
You're like...
Okay, I can go a different direction, but I'm kind of giving you a hint here that
I'm trying to help you guys. Oh, I know.
You want to hunt these goblins. They're short. They're probably not climbing the cliff. I don't know.
It's fine. They'll figure it out. You'll help them find them eventually.
Oh, yeah. It's just funny.
Until then, it's fine. No, but it's I've been watching, I haven't watched the last couple, just because I've been busy, but sure. I watched the first time, and my stepdaughter's in it, but I just find them so entertaining.
Oh yeah,
they're hilarious. I'll be laughing.
Oh, and the joy when they get to do something.
Yes,
it's like, you do that? Oh yeah, you can do that.
And they're learning their characters. They're still learning their sheets. They're still learning their abilities. They don't quite understand all of that. So Larry, of course, has to explain a little bit. But that's part of why we decided to do this, was to not just teach those 4 kids, but to be able to teach other kids. I would say start with the second episode. The first episode, Larry's going over all of the...
It's very dry. I apologize if everybody's asleep.
It wasn't horrible. It's, if you don't know anything about D&D, watch the first video. If you already know about D&D, watch the second video.
Watch the first video and just watch the kids' reactions if they fall asleep to what I'm talking. You're losing them. I know. I
literally hopped on. I literally hopped on to help.
You did. That was great. I was muddling along going, okay, it's just not going as I planned, and that's okay. I'm just trying to... We're doing this live. That's okay. All right. It's been entertaining. So I've had a great time with this group. And I have to say, I've got a 55-year-old in my group, sort of the grown men that I'm doing, and he's never played until the session that he's playing in, the campaign he's in. And so some of that, he's learning some of the same things and learning his character. So it's not just for the kids to do that. And so you can watch this and you can pick some stuff up on, how do you learn how to do that? And sometimes we'll stop and find out where on the character sheet is this. Okay, look here. This is the number you need to base it off of. And hopefully that's helping not just them, but helping other people that would be playing to know, this is normal. And a good dungeon master should be helping along, especially the new people, because we want people to learn and enjoy this hobby.
Right.
We don't want to hold people out and assume you have to have a certain knowledge. How do people ever get that knowledge? That's like applying for the job, or they're like, well, we'd hire you, but you don't have any experience. Well, how am I supposed to get experience if you won't hire me?
No one hires me. And D&D, the first time I've been playing D&D since the 80s. But the first time, the character sheets did not look like they look like now.
They do not. Yeah.
So I stopped playing around the time Dakota was born, so around 94. And then I didn't start playing again until 10 years ago. 9-10 years ago, something like that. When I started playing again, the character sheets were completely different.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know, they didn't have as many stats as they have now.
They did not
have all of these things that they do now. And so I had to learn. I had to kind of learn how that character. I know how the game is played. I know how the role-playing game is played. I know how to stay in character. I know how to, but the sheet itself was so confusing to me.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you take the time to go over that with them and stuff like that. And it helps. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched our next gen role players, please go watch. And they're going to crack you up. And you're kind of, they all have, their characters have personalities, and the kids themselves have such strong personalities. Sometimes they mesh even with their own characters, and sometimes you can see the conflict. They're like, I would never do this, but maybe my character would.
Right.
So
maybe they would, right? Maybe they would actually kill somebody and kick their heads. I don't know.
I hope that he wouldn't, but no.
No. I don't think he would, but
but it's fun. It's fun. And the first fight that Larry had set up for them, they didn't really get to fight because they were fighting each other so much.
Yeah, it's true. It was funny. Like, okay, all right.
Like, can I just hit him? Like, can I just come up and hit him? I was like, oh my gosh. They didn't realize that they were going to lose. Like, they thought they could fight each other without losing points.
Right. Yeah, that's not how that works.
No. It's like real life. You fight somebody, you're going to get hurt. It's fine. It is fine. My dog just ran by.
Oh, yeah. He's back.
She's got the zoomies right now. I can hear her.
My cat's that way. Because we got a kitten back in July. Or actually, no. Sorry. We lost our other cat in July. We got a kitten in September, I guess, or October. And she's just all over the place. Oh, my gosh.
Mine's old. She doesn't do it very often. She's like me. She's old. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, my kitten likes to go in heat like every 3 weeks, so we have to get her fixed.
Yeah, I would say.
We don't let her out, so we're like, we ain't raising no babies.
Right? No, this one here's old. She's old. I've had her since she was born.
Well, congratulations. Actually, are you enjoying your kitten as much as I am? I am enjoying her, but the other challenge is we've been trying to teach her not to claw at things she's not supposed to. And yeah, she just wants to claw everything.
Mama's left. She's like, why are you back here? Dad's usually back here taking photos. You're not supposed to be back. That's what she's thinking.
This is odd. This is odd. What are we doing?
What are we doing, Mom? So everyone, this is Artemis. Her mother was Luna. She was born in September during a super red moon. So we named her Artemis.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think she's telling me she probably needs to go for a walk.
Okay. Well, and we probably need to head out and let people go. But thank you all for watching us. We love.
Yes, Ashley. She does. Like, Ashley and John have a dog, and when they post photos, I'm like, they look like they could be brother and sister. It's fine. So, but yeah, we'll let everybody go. We'll be back next week. We promise, and we're going to try to make this a weekly thing again.
We definitely are.
So, okay. Well, Larry, I'm going to go take my dog for a walk.
All right. Well, all you guys out there, thanks for joining us. Stay chill with each other and stay geeky. And we'll see you next week. And have a good walk.
I will. Bye, guys.
Bye.